In this video, we are going to explore how vaccines function and consider both their advantages and disadvantages. When our bodies, more specifically our immune systems, are exposed to a particular harmful microorganism known as a pathogen, they usually develop what is known as immunity. This immunity helps the body recognize and remember that pathogen, so that if it tries to infect us again in the future, our immune system can respond rapidly and effectively to prevent illness. Once immunity is established, it means that we are protected from catching the disease again, which explains why most people only experience certain infections, such as chickenpox, once in their lives. However, the challenge is that in order to develop this natural immunity, we must first go through the initial infection, which can vary in severity from being mildly uncomfortable to extremely dangerous or even life-threatening. Ideally, we would want a way to train our immune system to become immune without actually experiencing the illness itself. That is precisely where vaccines come into play. A vaccine is a medical preparation that contains the pathogen we want to become immune to, but it has been weakened, inactivated, or killed so that it can no longer cause illness. Although the pathogen in the vaccine is no longer capable of causing disease, it still contains the same surface markers, known as antigens, that are present on the real, dangerous version of the microorganism. Our immune system detects these antigens and treats them as if they belong to an active threat, triggering a full immune response. As a result, our white blood cells produce antibodies that specifically match those antigens and also generate memory cells that will stay in our bodies for a long time. This process allows us to develop immunity without getting sick. Vaccines can protect us from both bacterial and viral infections. By the time children begin primary school, they have already been vaccinated against more than a dozen potentially serious or deadly diseases, including ones like diphtheria, measles, polio, and hepatitis. So, what are the major benefits and limitations of using vaccines? One of the most important advantages is that vaccines protect individuals from contracting extremely unpleasant and dangerous diseases. On a wider scale, vaccinations have been a major factor in controlling or even eliminating diseases that were once widespread and devastating. For example, illnesses such as smallpox, measles, polio, and whooping cough were once major public health threats, but have now been drastically reduced or nearly eradicated in many parts of the world thanks to widespread vaccination programs. Vaccines also help prevent large-scale outbreaks of disease, known as epidemics, which used to sweep across communities and cause widespread illness and death. One of the key ways that vaccines achieve this is through something called herd immunity. This happens when a large proportion of a population becomes immune to a disease, making it very difficult for the pathogen to spread from person to person. Since most people around an infected individual are immune, the pathogen has fewer opportunities to find a new host, and in many cases, the chain of infection is broken entirely. This protects even those individuals who are not vaccinated because they are less likely to come into contact with someone who is carrying the disease. In this way, herd immunity creates a protective shield across communities, especially helping vulnerable individuals such as newborns or those with weakened immune systems. Although the benefits of vaccination are clear and significant, there are a few potential downsides to consider. For one, vaccines are not always 100% effective. In some cases, they may not provide full immunity, and a person may still become ill despite being vaccinated. However, for most essential vaccines, follow-up tests or booster shots are used to confirm that the vaccine has worked or to reinforce the immune response. Another issue is that some people experience side effects after receiving a vaccine. These side effects are usually mild and short-lived, such as swelling, redness, or soreness at the injection site. In rare instances, people may develop a fever or feel unwell for a day or two. Extremely rarely, more serious reactions can occur, such as seizures, but these are very uncommon and usually only happen in people with certain underlying conditions. Overall, while no medical procedure is completely without risk, the risks associated with vaccines are minimal compared to the enormous benefits they provide in protecting individuals and entire communities from dangerous diseases. Thanks to vaccines, millions of lives have been saved and countless epidemics have been prevented, making them one of the most powerful tools in modern medicine.